Hey there, this is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and we help business analysts get started in their careers. So, we've been receiving a lot of questions about the difference between product manager roles and business analyst roles, how they work together, and how you can move between these different roles as you plan out your career. So, I decided to chat about that today. So before we jump into how they work together, let's talk about what each role is. And a product manager, you could think of as the CEO of the product. So they really just own the product. They own the strategy, they own the roadmap, they own the feature definition of what is that product going to do. Sometimes they're also in charge of the marketing, coordinating with the sales team, maybe forecasting, and have overall profit and loss or P&L responsibilities for their product or for an entire product line within an organization. How about the business analyst? Well, the definition of business analysis from the International Institute of Business Analysis, or IIBA for short, is that that's the practice of enabling change in the organization by defining needs and recommending solutions. So often when that change involves software, then the business analyst is collaborating and facilitating discussions and requirements between business and the technology team. So business team that is desiring new software, or business change and the software team that is enabling that by delivering a software solution. And they're in the middle of kind of collaborating, making sure everybody's on the same page about the requirements and what that updated business process will be. That could include business process definition, functional requirements definition, and data requirements and definition. Okay, so when that change or that software involves a new product, then often that business owner is actually the product manager, and so the business analyst is coordinating and collaborating with the product manager and making sure their requirements are understood and defined so that the software team can build against those requirements. So I actually got my start as a business analyst in the product space or the product world. So I'm going to just share a couple of examples from my career. So my very first project or company that I worked for they were an online publishing company, and the first product I got to work on was an eBook platform. So I was the business analyst. We were mostly focused on the software changes, the software features and functions, the functional requirements for that ebook platform. And I worked with a product manager who owned that platform. So just like we talked about, I believe she did have the product and loss responsibilities. She definitely was coordinating with the sales team for the rollout, coordinating with marketing for the marketing plan, and she owned like what that software needed to do in order for it to achieve its financial objectives for the company. And an interesting part of my role though that developed, so she was in charge of the customer facing features, but there was a lot of features that we had to put in place in order to successfully serve our customers and fulfill our customers. And so I ended up as the business analyst taking more of a leadership role in the internal part of the product, so working with somebody from customer service and fulfillment to define what their needs would be and make sure that those requirements were covered as well, so that we could serve not only our customers, not have just those customer facing features, but make sure our business processes and our internal products were in place to make sure that that product could be a success. And actually, quite a few of my experiences throughout my early days as a business analyst were very similar. So I was working on a lot of online content, a lot of online publishing companies, and we were doing similar kinds of products, and that my role was very similar in all of those. And then I started working as a contractor for another organization that was taking their internally focused business process and getting that online. And so it was essentially another way of creating a product, right? So they were enabling through a website to have their customers interact with them through a website, where it was previously they were faxing in information and calling, and I don't even think they used a lot of email. It was a lot of phone and a lot of fax, some email. And so we were putting that business process onto a website and enabling the the end user, the customer, to collaborate with the company through the website. And so in a way, that was another product. There wasn't really a product manager in that one. Interestingly, there was a project manager who was a business subject matter expert, and they filled the role essentially of product manager as well. So the biggest difference, if you look at some of these examples, is that the product manager really has more decision-making power, right? So they're deciding what the software should do. They're often collaborating up with executive teams to make sure that that product is aligned with the bigger picture organizational objectives. And they might have some true financial responsibilities for the company as well. And again, that business analyst is more the facilitator role, discovering the requirements from the product manager, who might be collaborating with end users, hopefully is, right? Figuring out what the customer really wants and bringing that information in to the business analyst. Sometimes the business analyst and product manager will do that together. Like as a business analyst on a product, I would get to sit in to some of those end user sessions or the discovery sessions that the product manager was doing with actual representative customers as well, so that I was hearing firsthand what those needs were from the customers. But then my role was really taking that information, making sure I understood what the product owner's priorities were based on that information, and then defining and detailing out the requirements and collaborating with technology to make sure that those requirements could get implemented. Okay, so because of this, like many business analysts see product management as a logical step forward in their careers. And it involves more authority, more decision-making power, probably advanced salaries as well, so you could look at it as a promotion. But if you are a product manager, you're probably going to be working with business analysts, so it's worthwhile to know a little bit about business analysis as well. And if your ultimate goal is to be a product manager, I think that can be, unless you have a lot of prior professional experience, can be a pretty rough role to probably just jump right into right away. And so you could be looking at business analysis as an interim career path on your way to product management. Okay, so again, because business analysis is going to be a great way to build a lot of those communication skills, to understand what a product is, to work with a project team, and to start building those leadership skills as well that you're really going to need at even more advanced levels as a product manager. So again, I'm Laura Brandenburg at Bridging the Gap. At Bridging the Gap, we help business analysts start their careers. So we've got lots of great resources for you. If you do want to pursue a career in business analysis, be sure to check out our website. And until next time, great to be here, and I'll chat soon. Thank you.